Ready?
Ready as I need to be, I guess.
All right. I'd like to welcome everybody to Wilton Town Board meetings, September 3rd of 2020. We have a public hearing on local law number 1 of 2020 Palmertown Ridge PUDD rezoning to R3. Anybody like to speak? You have a 3-minute limit. Anybody on to speak?
I'm gonna open it up here.
Hey Josh, it's Mark. Can you see me? Or can you hear me?
We can hear
I
you.
can hear you,
see
Mark.
All right, that's good. Oh, wait, hold on. Hi, Ryan.
And if anybody would like to speak, please state your name and address.
So if you'd like to make
You
a
got anybody on, Josh?
yeah, there's several people on. If they'd like to make a comment, they just have to unmute themselves and then state their name and address for the record.
Josh, do you want to just unmute everyone and then?
Everybody is unmuted.
Anybody who would like to speak?
Yeah, I guess, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, it's Nancy Dwyer, 12 New Kent Road. I guess I'm just curious as to why the town is looking to change the current PUD back to R3. Just some reasoning behind it.
And board, can the board hear me? It's Mark.
Yes, Mark.
All right, so just remember that, you must take all public comments. You can answer questions, but you're not obligated to answer questions. Just reminding you of that.
Okay, so I guess I'm asking, is anybody would like to address that?
You want to talk
Can you
about it,
address
Ryan?
I don't even know if you can.
Ryan, would you or Ray like to talk? You said on the meetings.
Well, I'm not sure if Mark Shackner would like us to speak about that, or if he would like to state the.
It's in litigation right now, and I just think it's smart to waive that. I would think until the court.
Well, again, can board hear me? Can public hear me?
Yes, sir.
Nancy, can you hear me?
I can, Mark.
All right, good. So I think the short answer I'm going to offer on behalf of the town is that the town board, as a result of a number of factors and circumstances, some of which do involve a pending litigation matter, and those I would suggest the town board not discuss at this time at a public meeting. But from the bigger picture planning perspective, I think the general feeling at the town board, subject to whether it takes action on this tonight or not, and I have no idea whether the town board will take action on this tonight, but the general feeling at the town board and with our planning director and others is that there might be some benefit to the overall public interest of the town to have the land zoned essentially back to where it was previously zoned. I'm saying the word essentially because the exact same zoning designation no longer exists, but a substantially identical zoning designation as was previously in place exists. And it seems the proposed rezoning, which again may or may not happen tonight or ever, but as I understand it, the proposed rezoning is very much compatible with our Town of Wilton Comprehensive Land Use Plan, which you and others have pointed out. Compatibility with that plan is a very desired trait of zoning. So that's my big picture response on behalf of the town board, assuming the town board agrees with that response. But I am going to suggest that the town board not get too much into the weeds on some of the nitty-gritty details of what led to this proposed rezoning, because that does involve some issues that are currently in pending litigation.
Sure, and I think the response, as you stated it, has factors of merit. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank
You're very
you.
welcome.
Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you, Nance. Anybody else like to speak about it? On to next. Does anybody else like to speak?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll
Second.
second that. Second it.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
And if I could just make a question and a comment. My question is of Sue. I may have missed the first few seconds of the public hearing. Did anyone mention that there was a letter received as part of the public hearing?
No, there was no mention of the letter received.
Okay, but unless I'm mistaken, Mr. Witt's attorneys Whiteman, Osterman, and Hannah did submit a letter, and that letter should be entered into the public record. It doesn't have to be read aloud. I just want to make sure the town board members are aware of the letter, and you have to enter that letter into the public records as having been received as part of the public hearing. So town board members, are you all aware of the letter?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and Sue, you know that you have to make that letter part of the public hearing record, part of the official public hearing record.
Yes.
Mark, can I make one more question in regard to what you just stated? Will that document then, so it'll become part of the minutes and readable, or will it have to be foiled if the public would like to see that?
I can't see. I assume it's Nancy speaking again?
I'm sorry. Yes, it's Nancy, 12 New Kent.
No, that's okay. So I'm not fielding questions. It's up to the supervisor and the town board.
Okay, so I guess Sue, when all of that happens and that letter gets put in, does that become part of the meeting minutes and accessible, or is it something that would then need to be foiled as part of the file on that property?
It will be part of the minutes.
Okay, so it'll be readable once those are done.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, you want to move on to the fence ordinance? Anybody like to speak?
Well, Mark and I had a conversation, Mark Schachner and I had a conversation about whether this should have been a local law or an ordinance, a standalone ordinance. So Mark has suggested that this would become a local law if we want to put it into the code book,
Yes.
which is the intent, correct, Mark?
Well, yeah, and especially if, and I don't know the answer to this, but when we spoke, Sue, you suggested that there was a possibility that the intent is to make it part of our zoning law code. If it's part of our zoning law code, then it should be done by local law, subject to notice of public hearing as a local law. If it's a standalone fence ordinance and general code, we'll put it in the code book. I don't have a problem with that, but I didn't understand where it was intended to go.
So where is Mark Mikens? Is he not here?
Mark
Mark
was
is here.
there.
Mark is here.
Brian's
Yes.
here.
Dude, I'm right here.
Okay. So Mark, you want this, how is this, how did you want
Probably
this?
should be a local law.
It'll be a local law, but I don't plan on putting, I wasn't planning on putting it into the zoning law. You could put it into the zoning law, and then if somebody wanted a variance from it, I would allow that.
Where would be the best place for it to be enforceable?
It's enforceable anywhere in the code.
I mean, we're looking to establish a policy about fences, and we also need to be able to enforce what we put through. So where would we put it? Local law, ordinance, or codes? Where would it be where we can enforce it?
Can be enforced anywhere.
Well, that's what I'm just double checking here.
Is that a question for Mark Schachner?
Whoever.
Or Mark Mikens or anyone else named Mark. So we're big believers. Mark Mikens is at the front of our enforcement arm, so to speak. And I think he's had pretty good success enforcing things that are not part of the zoning law and have not been adopted by local law. We're big believers in local law adoption, but it's entirely up to the board. I heard one of the town board members suggest local law. It might have been Supervisor Land.
Yes.
I had emailed a couple questions after we were asked to review it. Is this just property line fencing, or is this any like decorative kind of fencing in a yard that might border a garden or a mulch bed?
Good question.
I
I
believe,
believe it would be property line.
right, property line fencing. Now, it could be a natural fence, such as a tree line or a bushes.
Row of arbor.
Are we still, it's Nancy again. Are you still in public hearing time for this?
Yes.
And I'm just seeing it now. I didn't even see it earlier. And maybe this is not a good time to ask, but what is exactly the fence ordinance saying?
Read it. Gotta read it.
That would have to be read.
Is it long? I mean, are we looking at a minimum height, a style? I know in the subdivision I live in, we already have fence ordinance or a fence whatever as part of our deed,
That's-
and everybody breaks it and nobody does anything about it. So I'm
That's
just
part of
wondering what
the-
exactly it is.
Correct, and that's
That
kind
was
of the
part of
point.
HOA.
To creating this so that the town has some enforcement on it.
Right, but I guess I'm asking what are the specifics of it, and I probably should have looked that up prior.
Does anybody have it in front of them?
Josh does.
I can find it. Oh, Josh is?
Yes.
Should be on the
Oh.
screen now.
Yeah, Josh, how do I make that bigger? Oh, God. Is there a way, Josh, for me to make it so I can actually read it?
It's full screen on my computer.
It's tiny on mine.
Mine too.
Under your view options.
Okay, view options, got it. Zoom ratio. Oh, that went too big. Okay, hold on.
This is Ryan here. I'm not sure if I've seen the latest fence ordinance, but is there anything in there regarding the color? I think Sue sent something out regarding color, because that's one of the issues we have.
Yeah, that's a big thing, Ryan. There should be a neutral color or something, because the last few, we've had some real weird paintings on some of these fences.
Right. Usually you want to stick with earth tone colors, you know.
There should be something put in there, I think, Mark. I don't know how you feel.
I'm okay with whatever the town board or the community wants.
I believe
I like
that's what Aaron
Sue,
had
you
said.
put neutral, what, neutral
Neutral earth tones.
or tone, yeah.
Did Nancy have anything
Can
else?
you read it, Nancy?
I am looking at it right now, and it just says, yeah, any structure regardless of composition in the fence thing. The distance from the existing grade to the top of the fence, height. It doesn't give a height. Oh, that's just definition. Sorry.
Basically, so no fence shall be more than 8 feet in height. I'll kind of just give a quick summary here.
Yeah, because I can't move around on that screen. I'm sorry, Ryan. I can't
Yep.
move around on that screen.
No other fence or portions of a fence shall be higher than 48 inches. Any fence hereby erected shall be placed a minimum of 6 inches from any property line and 24 inches from the front property line.
Okay, so only half a foot from your property line. Okay.
Yep. Mark talked about living fence, shrubbery, whatever it may be. And there's, it goes into following fences and fence materials are strictly prohibited, such as barbed wire, short, sharply pointed fences, canvas fences, chicken wire, turkey wire, that kind of stuff. I think that's,
And so
Kind of highlights.
Aaron's comment about like a little garden, putting a little chicken wire fence around the garden.
No, it'd be property lines only.
Okay, and that's made clear somewhere in here? I think it was.
Yeah, it says it in there.
Okay. For the purpose of enclosing a piece of land or dividing a piece of land into distinct portions. That's kind of not exactly clear.
Absolutely clear, because if you're dividing your property into distinct portions,
So dividing my garden out isn't what you're talking about.
Distinct portion of your property. So if you're taking your property and putting it in half, in a fence, so that you can have 2 parcels.
Okay.
Subdividing.
Correct, with a fence.
Okay.
Like a garden fence doesn't include that.
Okay. So I guess the word distinct makes it a little bit more clear. Okay. That all seems fair, at least what you cleared up, Ryan, seems fair enough.
You good with everything, Nance?
I think I am. Oh, so to Aaron's point, is something changing in here regarding color, or was that in there somewhere?
I didn't see it, but we should put something in there.
There's nothing in there right now for color. It's something that can be added.
Oh, there's materials. Okay.
Was there
Everybody good?
anyone else? Was there anyone else in the town?
Anybody else want to speak? You good with everything, Nance?
I am.
Okay.
Thank you.
You will get something in there, Mark, like neutral colors or earth colors or something. You hear me, Mark?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thank you. Let's go right to the regular town board meeting.
Could we have a motion to close the public
I'll
hearing?
make a motion to
Motion.
close.
Sorry.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Let's go right to the regular town board meeting. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. With the flag, Jenny.
Got one.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag,
United States of America. To the republic which stands one nation
Under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
What, excuse me. You take a roll call, Sue?
Supervisor Lance,
Here.
Deputy Supervisor McEachran,
Here.
Councilman Bogardus,
Here.
Councilwoman Culligan,
Present.
Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
I'd like to suspend the public comments. I need a motion.
Make a
Make a
motion to
motion that we
suspend.
suspend public comments for this month of September.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We want to make a motion to approve the pending minutes from last month.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a local law number 1 of the 2020 Palmertown Ridge PUD rezoning. And what we sent to the county, they approved that. Need a motion if somebody wants to make it.
Well, hang on. If you're talking about a motion to approve the rezoning, you can't do that yet. You would have to first go through State Environmental Quality Review Act review of the environmental assessment form that's been previously sent. And then the other thing is, I just want to make sure the town board knows that the comment letter received from the property owner's attorney raises a whole bunch of issues. It was just delivered today, late in the day. If you want time to go through it and or to discuss it with us sometime, there's no, from our standpoint at least, there's no burning rush to adopt the proposed rezoning this evening. That's up to.
Will that affect the public hearing?
So we can
No.
table it?
You've had the public hearing. It's been open. It's been closed. You've heard from, I believe, one citizen. You also have the letter from the property owner. I just want to make sure. I'm not telling, you know me. I never
Right.
tell.
No.
I never
I
tell the
agree.
town board what to do. I'm just telling you. I just want to make sure you know that you don't have to act this evening. And no, it does not affect the fact that you've already conducted the public hearing. That's fine.
I think
Somebody
that's a
want to
good
make a
idea.
motion to table it?
I have not had a chance to read that letter yet.
All right. Somebody want to make a motion to table it?
I think Aaron did.
Yes? Made
Yeah,
a
I'll make that
Aaron?
motion to table.
Second it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Where's Dwayne?
I don't
God
know,
only knows.
needs to mute himself or something.
Yeah.
Does
Josh, can you mute
anybody
it?
else hear something in the background?
Yeah, it sounds like a
Yeah.
frog.
It
I
does.
do too. Sounds like a muffled microphone.
All right, number 6, the fence ordinance.
Well,
Do we make
Dwayne's
a
back.
motion to approve that, Mark?
Which mark are you asking?
You, the smart one.
If you wish to approve
Ouch.
that, then
Sorry,
yes, you would
Mark.
need a motion, a second, and a vote.
Okay, so are we going to do that with the addition of,
With the changes, with
Yeah.
the
With the
neutral
changes?
colors.
okay,
And it's being done as an ordinance, not a local law, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
yes.
All right.
And I will make that motion for the fence ordinance with the said changes, neutral colors.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, approved. Number 7, temporary amendments to personal policy, employee travel, extension of anniversary dates for leave time. Have you all read that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll make that motion to approve.
All right, second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed. Number 8, land use boards, planning and zoning, amend annual meeting schedules.
What's the amendment to those?
That's about it.
The amendment is.
Well, that's
to
like in July or August, a lot of employees take time off, the vacation. So if they don't want to have a meeting during the month of July or August, they can wait
Okay.
it to the following month.
That's right. Thank you.
We want to make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make that motion to approve.
I'll
I'll
second.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed. Number 9, abuse prevention policy. Everybody have a chance to read it?
Yeah, I went through it in great detail the first time it went around. I read through it again today. And does anybody know, in the policy, it says that, for those children, that we'll do a background check that goes back 5 years. Does anybody know why it's only 5 years and not longer?
No, but it makes sense.
Could
That
it
should
be the
longer.
age, because the age of the
They sh-
counselors would bring
they
them
should
back
go
to an
back
age
further.
when they were minors?
We're assuming
Well-
the counselors are young though.
Yeah, but there are other employees that work with children that could be substantially older than teenagers.
Yeah, no, that's a great question.
You want
Actually,
to put a change to that, Ray?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Go back to when they're 16.
I
There
maybe
should be an
before
age
that.
limit.
20 years?
I'd put 20 years on it.
I don't think there should be an age limit, period.
No,
Yeah.
you're right.
Good
You're
point,
probably
Dwayne.
right.
Yeah.
Because if you
No
get somebody
limit.
who's 40, 20 years ago, and then who knows what happens before they're 20. Let's
Yeah.
just go all the way back.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you caught that, Ray.
And if I could ask Sue, I did make some proposed revisions or suggest some proposed revisions to that policy, which we sent you. Did you get those?
I did, and I sent them out.
All right, great.
So are we going to table that till we see the changes?
The changes did go out today when I received.
Yeah, I had the new ones.
And they were not, and at least the ones I suggested were not very significant at all. Most of them were just making sure that since we've separately defined children and youth, that all the policies applied to both children and youth prevention.
Okay. Anything we received this afternoon, I was not able to review. So I'm seeing that in my email now.
Somebody want to make a motion, or what do you want to do?
Well, I'd like to make the motion with
Raise
O'Connor's,
thoughts. Yes.
Well, Ray and Mark Shackner's comments and input, we should accept them.
with no age limit.
Into the policy.
Correct.
Is that a motion, Dwayne?
Absolutely.
Second?
Motion, we accept them with
I'll second.
the amendments of Mark and Ray.
Got a second?
Yep.
Aaron, yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pass. Okay, the final adoption of the Davison Drive Water District Extension. Is that good, Mark, Shackner, or what?
Yeah, this would be the very final step. It would just be adoption of the final order.
We're ready to go?
You're ready to go. You've already been through all the other requirements.
I'll make a motion to approve the Davidson Drive Water District Extension.
I'll
Second.
second.
It's actually to adopt the final order that we've provided.
What Mark said.
Second.
I'm going to recuse myself because I own a house down there, so. Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Passed. We have a reappointment of the Board of Assessment Review, Martha Ledoux, from 10/1/2020 to 9/30/25. Martha's always done a great job on that board.
I'll make a motion to reappoint.
I'll
Martha
second.
Ledoux.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed. Thank you, Martha. 12, Gavin Park fee schedule. If y'all had a chance to look at it.
Yep.
Yes.
We want to make a motion to accept it.
I'll make a
Make a
motion.
motion.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, passed. Number 13, extension of time. 129, 110, damage or destroyed buildings. I think this was brought up about because Chuck Gerber had the fire and then the COVID. We couldn't make meetings, so this is what, and Mark Mankins is in favor of it. I'm in favor of it. Give
Yeah,
him-
Adirondack Trust ran into the same problem, rebuilding the
That's right.
Wilton branch.
That's right.
So especially with, not knowing how our winters are gonna run. So I agree as well. I'll make that motion to extend the time.
Through
Okay.
November
Got a
18th.
second?
I did.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Committee reports.
I had anticipated getting it back a little bit sooner, but the revisions that Ryan and I worked on, I shared with the LA group a couple of weeks ago, and it was just yesterday that we got those revisions back. So we haven't had a chance to look at them. So once we have a chance to take a final look at it, we'll share it with everybody on the board and with everybody involved with open space and recreation, and then perhaps address it next month. You got anything else on that, Brian?
Ryan,
Nope. I
got an answer?
had to unmute myself. No, I
Get closer to your microphone.
know.
Step outside.
Take a look at it as well with Ray, and we'll get through it.
I have a couple things
Good.
real quick. I spoke with Robin. The senior center is getting ready to open.
Wow.
They are going to open at 25% capacity. She's going to kind of bring some of the friends in.
He's in for a rude awakening.
Right. So 25%.
5% of them they can go.
She's going to make lunch. Well, it's going to be to their discretion, but 25% capacity. They've got the tables and chairs set up with social distancing in mind. She's got people who enjoy spending time together, coming together. She's going to make lunch on the premises so that nothing is kind of coming and going from the outside. Really try to limit that. Again, limit numbers, slow and steady. We all recognize that our seniors are a very vulnerable population, but also deserve some normalcy as well. And we're going to try to do that as safely as possible, as long as the town is permitting us to open buildings. She's gotten a little bit of heat because she's pumped the brakes on any new people coming in yet, because she really just wants to get the seniors that have been there just a little bit of time here and there, to be able to get out of the house and be able to come to a safe space.
Good.
So if anybody has anything to share, please let me know on that.
She's followed everything we've recommended plus her own, so I think they're gonna be good go for them.
Gonna have a daily log and all that stuff when they come in.
Right, temperatures, all that.
She's got two of the no-touch temperature things she got from town hall. The log thing is a great idea. We did not talk about that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea. Have them sign in and out.
Just for contact tracing, just in case.
Absolutely.
We've been, when we talked about opening the building, we've said this. Everybody was supposed to have been sending an email on it.
Okay.
And,
I know the county provides a sign-in sheet, because we use them at the firehouse. They provide a sign-in sheet, and then on top of the sign-in sheet, it does ask like 3 or 5 or 6 COVID-type questions. So when a person comes in and signs in, they read the questions and the test whether they have illnesses or fever or anything like that. So there's a questionnaire printed on top of the sign-in sheet, and then they sign in and write attest to whether they have or do not have any of the symptoms, along with a temperature check.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, if you need one, I can provide a copy of that sheet.
yes. Set it up so we can enforce it all through the buildings. And she got masks, but she even got some face shields, and I got another 24 from the county, so they're in pretty good shape.
Good.
Yeah. The second thing are the short-term rentals. A couple of you have been able to review that. Sue sent it out to everybody to take a look at. So if you guys get a chance to read it, let me know if there's any changes that you'd like to see, any thoughts. I know Mark Mikens was going to work on an actual decibel level for a noise ordinance to put in there. And Ryan, you told me, what does the town have? It's kind of like quiet hours are 9 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Yeah, that's the hours right now currently with our noise ordinance, but there's no limit with a decibel, so it's hard to enforce.
So I'd like to maybe include those 2 items in it, just so people, when they read it, because the expectation is when people rent your house, they receive a copy of their short-term rental agreement, so they know the rules. So maybe I would like to, you can see there's 3 spots highlighted in there as well that I need to look at the actual language of. I got to come to town hall and get those answers. I would like to add that kind of town quiet, 9 p.m. to 7 a.m., along with the actual decibel level for noise.
Is that for residential or commercial and residential?
Short term, this does not include commercial properties.
Okay. I'd be in trouble.
And I would like to set a public hearing for October if that's possible.
Yep. What's that date gonna be, Sue?
October,
1st.
Probably the first Thursday.
that is October 1st.
First Thursday.
October 1st?
Yes.
Oh,
So thank you for that.
I know we can't do this, but if we could ban the alcohol, it would end all this noise nonsense.
Never.
that's how I was able to go in the ocean.
And the last thing I talked to John Lant about this a few weeks ago. It hasn't moved forward, but I did want to make everybody aware because school is opening. I was approached by one of the committees for reopening about whether or not a crossing guard would be allowed on the Jody Lane end of Dorothy Nolan. There is not a crosswalk. It is quite a distance.
Do we have walkers over there?
No, they don't,
No.
but they're wondering because of the number of people who will be providing their own transportation, that if kids were allowed to walk from that end, like the Jody Lane neighborhood, the principal is not in, she needs to check with the district because there's not a crosswalk. It has everybody kind of waving their hands too, but I just want to make you guys aware that that conversation took place and it hasn't moved forward or gone anywhere. I just want to make sure.
Well, there's
you
no
guys knew.
there's no
Is there-
sidewalk either from
Right.
Jody Lane to the school. So if
Correct.
we put a crosswalk in there, we should put a crosswalk to a sidewalk, I would think.
Isn't there a way to go right down towards the trailer park and then cross over?
No,
Not from the Jody Lane side.
There's no sidewalks there?
no,
No.
no.
No,
Yeah.
and again, it hasn't moved forward. It was just something that was brought to my attention as a question, whether that was something the town would consider. And I just wanted you guys to know. That was all. But I haven't heard
Aaron,
anything more about it.
Aaron, I don't know if it was the same person or not, but I got a call about that as well. And in my personal opinion, in as much as there's no crosswalk, there's no sidewalk, you know, I think it's too dangerous. So, you know, I said my own personal opinion was that I thought the town would be inclined not to approve that. So,
And it would take private property to
Right.
walk either of the road to get
I
there.
was told back when my daughter was in 5th grade that she couldn't walk from my house, so because of the same, no sidewalks and
Yeah.
some of you
So
know,
anyway.
some of you know what I'm talking about.
Before we move on, could we have a motion to set that public hearing October 1st for 7 PM, please?
Aaron made the motion.
I'm sorry.
Aaron made the
Second.
motion.
Second,
Second.
favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
I just got a quick update on the courts. The interior design is all done. We are looking at a little bit more furniture, which is not going to be a great cost. We have identified a slight design issue as far as our entry sidewalk. If we enter the main vestibule from the left-hand side as you look at the building, it's an enclosed sidewalk with, obvious a roof and everything that keeps the sidewalk clear from snow slide. On the right side, we do not have an enclosed sidewalk for the main entry to the vestibule. And last year we had to close it because of ice and snow buildup. We are looking at different options on mitigating that. One of the options are to enclose it just like the left-hand side. We're going to close it so when you enter an enclosed sidewalk and into the vestibule as opposed to an open sidewalk that has ice and snow buildup on it. We're getting quotes on that, and hopefully next month we'll have an update on that. Other than that, we are under budget and we're just about complete with that project.
Good job, Dwayne.
Yeah, no, it was a long time coming. It was a great project, and it's everybody so far, personnel seem to be very happy with it.
Anybody got anything else?
all I want to say is, Dwayne, there aren't too many occasions where you hear the words government project and under budget in the same sentence.
You're absolutely right.
Only in Wilton.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mark.
I talked already about opening the buildings the 8th, after Labor Day. We have all the precautions. I think we got it right down. I'm glad you brought that up, Dwayne, about the questions to ask people. We've ordered filters for all our air conditioning units. And Mark brought up about if some of them are old, we might ruin them because of the air they have to intake. So Maria's ordered air purifiers for the rooms we can't get into. So like I said, I would like to have done it the 8th, but we had a couple of issues come up today, so I'd like to wait to the 15th.
Well, why don't we not set a deadline? let's not set a deadline, because let's say on the 15th, we don't have the proper air handling filters, everything in place. The motors are working a little bit harder. I personally would like to wait a month just to give the air handlers a chance, because the filters are thicker. It's going to take a lot of draw for those current motors to pull the air through them and everything. I would like to give it one more month just to let our systems see if they work with what the upgrades we're doing with them, and just kind of keep everything closed for another month. And then we can see how the air handlers and the purifiers and everything are actually working. That's my opinion. It's only my opinion, but I would like to hold off 1 month. Rather than the 15th, I'd like to go to the 1st of October myself.
The
Again,
1st of October is our meeting. Are
Correct.
we having another Zoom?
I'd like to get our meetings open too.
right, we can open up on the 1st if everything's going well.
Yeah.
But I hate to say the
I don't,
15th.
Dwayne, I don't have no problem with that.
I hate to say the 15th and all of a sudden we're not ready for it, and then we're
Yeah,
opening
right.
up buildings.
Yeah.
I think we should be the first people to open it up and and see how it works. If
All right.
I mean, we
Well,
can
everybody's-
informally open it before that, but I would.
Yeah.
Well, it does, it's not going to require a motion to open the buildings, is it?
I don't believe so.
Yeah,
No,
so,
but I just want to keep
Whatever it is,
everybody
right.
informed what their thinking is. That's why I ran it by y'all last week.
yeah,
Things have changed, and Dwayne's got a good point there.
yeah.
It don't
I'm
happen
just
too
tired.
often, but he
Listen,
does come up with some
That's a
good.
hard thing to admit.
I'm tired of Zoom.
It's killing them.
Hey, can
All
I,
right.
Zoom
can I
adds 36 pounds to the body.
I want to mention something about, going back to live public meetings, in-person meetings. Even though the building may be equipped appropriately, there's still the issue of depending on how many people come to the meeting, social distancing, masks, and all that sort of thing. And I had a thought about using a different venue, like the SUNY Adirondack building on Route 9 for public meetings. They have a big lecture hall where you can really space people out. You can spread out the town board, at the head of the room.
That's where they do the Women League of Voting.
Yeah. So just something to think about.
I can inquire on that tomorrow.
Would you?
Yeah, this Zoom
Thank you.
thing is killing me.
Yeah, it's one of our buildings over there, so I don't think it shouldn't be a problem.
We all good?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Moran will do the controller's report.
Okay, so this month we have one item on our budget amendments, and that's just to increase revenue for insurance recovery that we just received for the repair to the dining hall at Scout Camp. There was damage related to the tornado, hit the roof, damaged the interior. So we received some insurance money. So we're going to increase revenue and increase our availability of appropriation to expend that money to pay the vendor when the time comes.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That,
Okay, the next section of the report deals with personnel. We have, the first item is the full-time position for the maintenance recreation worker has been changed to seasonal. So if it's approved by the board, the change becomes effective September 1st.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Pass.
Second item is Mary Salika has resigned from her position as a recreation leader effective August 21st, 2020. The board is requested to accept Ms. Salika's resignation.
So moved.
Make a motion to accept it with regrets.
She's a great
Second.
employee.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next item is that Ms. Salka has requested that her remaining sick leave accruals be donated to an employee who's currently using her sick leave for continued medical reasons. If the board approves the donation, Ms. Salka has 140 hours that she would like to donate to this employee.
It was a nice gesture from her.
Yep.
Make a motion, we allow it.
I'll second.
Absolutely.
In favor?
Second.
Aye.
We have another generous employee who would like to donate 40 hours of vacation leave to an employee who will also be using the time for a medical procedure.
Same thing, an awful noble thing. Somebody want to make a motion?
I
Make
just
a
want to thank
motion.
Rich McCain because he does this yearly, donates
Yes.
time to an employee who's on a sick leave or medical leave, and he's very generous, and it's just an awesome thing he does, and I would definitely support it.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
John Eddisheim has resigned from his part-time recreation maintenance worker position effective August 18th, 2020, and the board is requested to accept Mr. Eddisheim's resignation.
Somebody want to make a
to
motion?
accept.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
With regrets.
Yeah, he was a good worker.
The last item under personnel is Kayla Benner resigned from the after-school open gym position as of August 31st, and the board is requested to accept Ms. Benner's resignation.
With
So moved.
regards.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passed.
Latest sales tax receipt about a week ago. It's the fourth distribution since our COVID-19 reality, and we're seeing a steady increase in the receipts, not to where we had them last year. So in other words, year over year, as of August 31st, we have a 7.5% decrease year over year. But we're definitely on an increased performance for sales in the town, and it's a very good thing. So I wanted to congratulate the board as a whole, the current board, previous boards, excellent decision-making in terms of remaining fiscally conservative to enable us to continue to provide services to our citizens, to be able to continue operations of the town without having to burden any of the employees with furloughs or layoffs or anything like that. We're very fortunate in this town. Great decisions have been made. And I'm looking forward to report next month. Hopefully we'll continue to have that uptick in sales tax.
Hey, Maria?
Yes.
That 7.5% difference between the first 8 months of last year and this year, what does that translate to in dollars? Do you have that handy?
I don't have it handy. I believe it was about $130,000. It's the August to August. So in other words, it's what we received in August of 2019 versus what we received in August
Okay.
of 2020. So it's not a year to date. The
Gotcha.
year to date, that's a very good point, Ray, that the year to date would have skewed the analysis a little bit only
Mhm.
because there are so many months of good in last year's and a few more months of bad in this year. So I just did August to August.
Okay.
How much was August?
August was roughly for about $500,000 this August of 2020. So
Wow.
it was very good. It was very, very good.
Oh,
But most of all, the credit should be given to our great controller, Maria, for her great leadership and saying no all the time.
I'm sorry, not sorry, right? But seriously, I have a lot of support from everybody. So it makes it easier for me to say no when I know that the board is going to support really good, sound decision, fiscally conservative, decisions. So thank you. All right. And under the category of other, just two quick items. Kirk Woodcock has requested to sell the 2001 Volvo payloader via Auctions International.
Need a motion? Somebody want to make a motion on that?
I'll make the motion that we allow Kurt Woodcock to sell the payloader on Auctions International.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And Tracy Moran would like the board's approval to apply for JCAP award for next year. The JCAP is the Justice Courts Assistance Program, and it's typically about $5,000 or so. And this past year, when we received the JCAP, it enabled the court to purchase some additional furniture, things that are needed in the justice courts. And so I believe next year will be used for other items that is needed. But kudos to Tracy for seeking those awards on an annual basis.
Absolutely. I'll make the motion to allow her to seek the JSAP award again.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Anything else?
We have one more thing. I don't know, is this the time for that?
Yes.
So the duties assigned to the position of recreation office specialist have been absorbed by the other staff members. Therefore, the position should be defunded as of September 30th, 2020.
That a motion?
Make that a motion.
I'll second it.
I'm gonna take a poll of the board, so
Sure. John McEachran,
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor.
Yes.
Councilman Bogardus,
Yes.
Councilwoman Colligan,
Support it.
and Councilman O'Connor,
Yes.
Supervisor Lamb.
I recuse myself from the vote.
Thank you.
Passed. Anything else? Anything else?
No, do we have, no, that should do it. I do want to talk about that. There was an incident after that at my shop today over this, so I don't know if it's
Want to go
something,
into executive session?
I don't know if it's
An
something that should be
option?
discussed here or in an open meeting or through an executive session.
If it's a personnel thing, we can go to executive session, I believe, with our attorney.
Well, let's be a little careful. It depends what you mean by personnel issue. And I don't know, John McCaffrey, exactly obviously what went on, so I'm not sure what you're referring to. If you're talking about a matter involving a particular person, individual, or employee,
Not
then-
an employee,
pardon?
a relative of an employee.
Okay, no, it's not.
All right, but if the matter you're going to discuss is a matter about hiring, firing, disciplining, giving a raise, or anything else to a particular
Negative.
employee, then it can be discussed in executive session.
No.
If it's not, then it should either be discussed, then it should be discussed in an open meeting, or again, not knowing what we're talking about. If you're gaining and seeking legal advice, we can do that in an attorney-client privilege conference, which is different than an executive session in terms of the label, but as a practical matter means we can do it outside of the open public meeting. But again, I don't know where you're heading, so it's hard for me to say.
I would think that's where you're heading.
Do we have the capability to do an attorney-client privilege meeting via Zoom?
Absolutely. You can do it anytime, any place, under any
Well, I'm
circumstances.
Pretty much shooting that one at Josh.
Well, yeah, if
But
Josh wants to
but let's
speak,
make sure, right, the question is, does the technology allow it?
That's my question.
That was the last thing I was going to say.
Stop recording?
We'd have to go to, I'd send out invites to a different meeting, I think.
Yeah, we would close this meeting and then you can send out a brand new invite and everybody could re-log in.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Okay.
Absolutely. We need to do it.
So you're closing the open public meeting, and we are going to get an invite for an attorney-client privilege conference. Is that what I'm understanding?
Yep.
is just the town board and, town clerk who's getting invited, just town board members and Mark Shackner, I assume?
On board and the lawyer.
Correct.
Do we need a
Minimum
motion to
is-
close this meeting?
Right, you would need an adjournment in the public
All
meeting,
right.
correct?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
First, wait a minute. First, I just want to thank everybody for the great job you've done for the town, all of you.
Same
You're
to
on,
you, John.
Aaron.
Thank you.
I echo that.
Thank you.
Okay. So Dwayne, was that a second to that motion to close the meeting?
I did.
Karen?
All in
Okay.
favor?
Thank you.
Aye.
So you'll probably have to give Josh 5-10 minutes here to set something up.